It feels a lot like your soul is very peaceful. It's come here to experience a lot of peace. You're supposed to find peace even in the chaos. There are mirroring things in this life from that past life that you've come to heal with this person.
You're strong. I mean, you can even, pull yourself up without even having your feet touch anything.
I find that even in your current life right now, it's still important for you to use your voice.
What I'm getting is that you want a love that you can contribute to. You're asking for platinum, so you can't accept the copper when it shows up, even though it's pretty too.
You are being pushed outside your comfort zone to seek new heights.
And you are true to yourself and you're true to others around you as you live your authentic life. You are just you, and that is all you need to open up. We need you to speak your truth, Katrina.
I decided to hop on today because I just wanted to talk about how I've been feeling, honestly, over the last couple of weeks. If you've been following along, you'll know that some crazy shit's been going on. I essentially found out that an ex, I don't even want to call him an ex anymore, because now I don't even look at that whole deal as a relationship. It's just a period of being conned. Found out that somebody that I dated is a narcissist. And so, I did a podcast episode on that, but I kind of want to talk about what it's been like for me going through this, because there are so many layers to this. So as this whole dynamic is showing up, and I'm learning about this whole narcissist thing, and I'm, making the parallels between my newfound knowledge with respect to narcissists and kind of rewinding the clock of the relationship and looking at all the things now, that just how clearly and how completely manipulated I was. So as I'm finding this out, and as I'm reflecting, and as I'm other women came forward with respect to this guy. And so I'm hearing their stories, and, I have my own story to process. And then additionally, there's somebody else in my life who, was dating a narcissist. And as I was finding all this out about this person I'd once dated, I'm coming to the realization that this other person in my life is dealing with someone that's dangerous. And I gotta say, my experience, love was weaponized in my experience. Spirituality was weaponized in my experience. But this other person in my life who was going through this, it was violent, and it was cruel, and it was unkind, and it was vicious, and it was... So when we're talking about dealing with narcissistic people, there's a really, really, really wide range of how that can look. But there are some fundamental things that are fairly consistent. So, yeah, so I'm going through this. I'm finding out all this information. I'm, feeling my own emotions. I'm feeling everyone else's emotions. The other women, who dated the guy that I was in love with. And, this other person in my life, I'm also feeling their situation. And it got to the point where my body just started failing. So there were 3 major effects, I think I'll call it, that kind of came up during the processing of this whole situation. So the first one that came up was an extreme sense of not being able to trust myself. I kind of started spiraling and thinking, well, all right, if I didn't see that, then what the fuck's going on with the person I'm into now, right? Like, what if they are, engaging with a bunch of different people and leading people on? And what if they're just like a dishonest human being? How can I trust myself? How can I trust this person? Especially because there's some parallels. It was already a struggle. With the person that I'm into right now, because this person is really attractive, really, really, really attractive. And, the last time I broke my getting serious with attractive people rule, it clearly, as y'all know, did not end well. So there was a huge sense of fear around the guy that I'm seeing now, and just like wanting to run away from that, because wanting to protect myself, But I realized, I had a choice, right? I could run very easily and be like, all right, no. I gotta find somebody who nobody wants, which is a terrible thing to say, because there's no one that nobody wants. Like, we're all drawn to each other for reasons that are not as superficial as us humans like to think, because there's way more going on than just looks. So I could run, or I think I might have even sent a couple of spirally messages to him also, maybe. Or maybe I didn't. I try not to, because I was already okay, so here's the deal. Here's the honest truth. When I'm into somebody, it fucks up everyone else for me. I can't look at anyone else with any real interest. You know what I mean? Because the world is colored by this person that I'm into, and I don't want anything but to engage with that person until I can see what can come of that. I get really, really, really one-track mindy if I feel like something could be real and beautiful, and I get that sense. And I have this sense with this person. I have this sense of like, oh God, joy and expansion, huge expansion, because we're so different. But 5D me can see where all the beautiful ways I could grow from this. But if we freak out, we run away because somebody else did some dumb shit, then we're allowing that other situation to kind of win. We're making up rules about people in general. So in my situation, hot guys, right? Like, if I say, all right, all hot guys are full of shit, liars, playing the field, not honest or authentic, then damn, that's going to be my reality, because I get to create my reality. So as long as I'm running around saying that shit, guess what the universe is going to show me? They're going to show me that. So yeah, we're not doing that. We decided we're not going to do that. We are going to judge the person on the merit of how they show up for us, and we're going to see where things go without having to dirty some beautiful new garden I'm trying to plant with some bullshit from some compost from a shit pile I walked away from, So I'm going to choose to win that challenge of, trusting myself by just, you know what, I'm going to stay open. I'm not going to curl into a raisin and die. I'm not going to allow my heart to shrivel up and just not function anymore. I'm not going to close myself off to the potential of love and being able to love someone. So it's not happening. And then that's the second thing that I wanted to talk about, is making rules about things, which I kind of already talked about. But like, this situation kind of allowed me to expand my mind on certain rules, because I had written certain rules because of that relationship, that now those rules can get to disintegrate, and they don't mean anything anymore. It's not real. That wasn't real. None of the things I thought I learned from that man were really lessons. It was mostly manipulation. When I go back through the things that I think I learned, a lot of the spiritual learning I did when I wasn't with him, So it was really important for me in processing the situation to just not make any rules that were going to keep me limited or keep me in a space of feeling like I'm a victim, or like the world is bad, or like, you know, people are just inherently bad, or you can't trust yourself or other people, and we're not going to write those rules. We're not going to taint our psyche from this experience and add shit that isn't helpful. And then, oh God, you guys, this is really humiliating, but I'm going to be really honest about this. I had some pretty gnarly thoughts out of anger, like, especially because I had like I said, I had my situation happening. I had things that I had found out had happened to other women that just made me really, really, really angry. Really angry. And it's kind of deep, off the deep end stuff, right? Where like, if I act on this anger, it's going to change a lot of people's lives in ways that we didn't really come here in this incarnation to do. So I had to kind of get to a place where I realized that the level of anger I was feeling and the desire to rectify the situation violently was other parts of my soul, aspects, whatever, other parts of my soul, other incarnations. It was like other parts of me that were a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, a little more violent from other incarnations got to show up and express how they would handle the situation. And then I got to choose, being Trina in this real, actual, not real, but you know, in this incarnation, to not do that. Which is a win for the soul, because those other aspects of my soul that were showing up, I'm pretty sure they took some fucking action in those past lives. And by being able to feel some of the things that I was able to feel and processing the situation and choosing to not take action that detrimental, feels like a soul level up. So my guides and angels are like, don't feel bad about any of your feelings. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Do not feel bad. Just don't take any action on them. You know, you're allowed to think and feel whatever the fuck you want. Don't take action. And it's a win. It's like you're healing those other aspects of your souls from other lives that didn't have the level of self-control that you're currently, you know, exuding. So it was really difficult, though. I'm not gonna lie. I felt really pulled to do a lot of shit that I really had no business doing. And it's probably just better if I stay in the house. This experience has really taught me how sensitive I am. Because, man, I can feel everything. And when I'm taking on too much, I feel like my higher self will make my whoever's in charge of affecting my body with messages. I started feeling extreme strain in my upper back. I couldn't move. For a couple of days, I was like stuck in bed. It was so severe. I couldn't wash my hair. It was so severe. I couldn't pick up coffee creamer. It was like, ooh, okay. It was like a pain around the center of my spine. Really, 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 really sharp pain. And if I picked up anything on one hand, if my weight wasn't perfectly balanced, this is so gnarly because as I'm saying this, I'm getting the message. So if I'd pick up something really small, even as small as a cup of coffee, like I have no strength, it would hurt my back, the spine, like really, really bad. But if I picked up the coffee with both hands in the center, then it would be fine. It would like neutralize the pain. So it feels like my soul was asking me to find balance, to step into more balance. It was telling me that I had gone too far into the emotion and too far into just allowing other people's energy to kind of permeate my field. And it was difficult. It was really difficult. So I had to take a couple of days for myself to really watch some funny shit So this is how I had to like repair the dam, right? Because they told me that I was an energy vessel and I was holding all this energy. And the dam broke, which was why my back started hurting really bad. So to repair the dam, I stayed in the fucking house. I mean, I still walk my dog. I still go on my hikes. But, you know, there was no way I could train. I can't lift any weight. Like, I ate sugary food that made me happy. And I watched funny shit on TV. I watched A Good Place. I love that show. It's just lighthearted. And so, yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing the last couple of days. On the tail end of all this crazy stuff happening and going on in my life, it's been like, this has been a really heavy period, honestly, like the last week. And then even like, not even with respect to the situation, but with that situation come up, but other little things in my life, like, so my daughter has a snake, right? And she goes to the store to buy a feeder mouse, and she falls in love with the mouse because it's a little baby. And then she tries to now the fucking pet food has become another pet. She's like, Mom, can I keep it? And I'm like, of course. And she's like, you're the only mom that was like, just lets me keep all the animals. I don't know what to tell you guys. My mom let me keep all the animals. I'm not going to tell my kid, you know, whatever it is, what it is. But anyway, long story short, this little baby mouse ends up dying because it was a baby mouse and it really needed its mom. It really needed to be, you know, nursed every 2 hours and, you know, all the other mouse shit. I don't know. I've never raised a mouse, but so, and she was just feeling this deep pain. And so I'm standing, you know, I'm sitting next to her and I'm rubbing her back and all this pain. And my daughter is like, she really feels everything very intensely, very, very, very intensely, not unlike me. And so I'm sitting next to her and I'm just picking up all this like energy and we're like so sad. I'm bawling my eyes out with her, like this over this little baby mouse. Like, oh my God. It's been a really, really, really heavy few days. Really heavy few days. So I told my daughter, I was like, I got to get away from you for a while. And she understood because she knows I'm super sensitive. And she already knew about the injury, you know, just my back and just being folded and not being. And my kids are not used to seeing me not be able to do things. Like, I'm kind of a bad motherfucker. I get shit done. If I go down, I don't go down long, you know, and then I'm stubborn. Like if I'm supposed to be down, I usually won't stay down, you know? So, but I knew I had to listen to this because, you know, I can't be of service to anyone if I'm incapacitated. So the last few days have really just been about kind of nurturing myself, kind of not disconnecting from the situation, but just allowing myself to feel other emotions and not overthink, because at the end of the day, what's done is done. Oh, you guys. And so then as I'm having my little period of restoration, we'll call it, my soul starts going hard on me to integrate. Do you guys know about this integration shit? Okay. So it's really interesting because it feels like on a soul level, my soul is so ready for this. My soul's like, bitch, this is why we're here, right? Like, we can do this. This is why we've come. This is how we transmute energy. Like, we can do this. But my ego was like, fuck that. Like, I want to be mad. You know, we're not the same. Ooh, we're not the same, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, my guides and angels are going hard on me with respect to integration. So we've had a situation. So I'm giving like high level overview of how I'm looking at this now, right? So I'm like, all right, we've had a situation and we're not happy about it, right? Feelings are hurt, you know, it just doesn't feel good, you know, regardless of the details, who gives a fuck? It's just a situation in life. It doesn't feel good. Something happened that doesn't feel good. Somebody did something, or we allowed someone to do something. It's usually the allowing, because we're creators of our own universe. We've allowed something to happen that we're not happy about. And we felt all of our feelings. I spent several days really pissed off. I spent some days, I don't even know, sad, but not for myself. More sad for other women's stories. Heartbroken for the person who's in my life who's also dealing with a narcissist, and things just went really fucking bad. Like worst case scenario, you know. So there's all these things, right? And we're spiritual, and we came here to be spiritual, and we have the awareness of oneness, which means that we have to acknowledge that our self did this to us because we are all one, right? There's really no separation. So I can sit there and this person and blah fucking blah and blame and whatever. But it's really just me. Me is all. All is all. Like, and so the integration is the recognition that whatever happened, happened. And you're supposed to feel however you were supposed to feel. And what is, and there's really no need to attach anything more to it, which is really hard because human me wants to be pissed, and human me wants action, and human me is like, but soul me is like, meh, this is what we came for. This is why we're here, to feel these things. And if we choose to do the human thing and just stay pissed off, then we're just regurgitating energy that is negative. We're just regurgitating energy that is not of love and acceptance. And integration is radical acceptance. It's radically saying, no judgment. I'm just allowing it to be what it is, you know? And not maintaining the energy of conflict within me, not retaining the energy of me versus them within me. It's just allowing me to be at peace with all the things that have happened, because we're all one energy pretending to be offshoots of energy, but it's all the same shit. And in order for the things to happen that happened, God has to be involved, because God is everything, even the shitty things. Like, it's all made of God, love, source. So as I conceptualize what my soul is asking with respect to this whole integration, which she wants me to just allow to be. And the reason why is because it's empowering, because we're taking the power of the situation. We're taking away the power of the situation. You know what I mean? It's like, by being a victim, you're empowering your perpetrator or whatever. But by just being, and they're just being, there's no yin or yang or positive or negative. It just is. And there's peace in that. I can feel it when I think it. But very quickly, my ego jumps up and it's like, no, fuck that. It's bullshit. That was wrong. Should be burned at the stake, you know? So it's been really, really, really interesting. A really interesting few days. I feel like what I want most from this whole situation and the situations that just have been going on in my life right now is just like, okay, this is what I've been asking. It's like, how can we turn this situation into love? How can we turn this into more love? And the answer that I got was basically, bitch, calm your ass down. Stop trying to do so much. Allow yourself to feel and process everything. Allow yourself to release everything, including all the things that you're keeping in your field that do not belong to you. But they do belong to me because we're all one, guys. Damn it. That's why I'm here, because I can take these energies and I can change them into things. But it's about balance. It's about balance. It's about balance. So, as of now, what I think I'm going to do, I know I'm going to do, because I was planning on doing this anyway, you know, and I also want to say that I appreciate that this situation has forced me into doing something that I wanted to do anyway, but I didn't know how to frame it without talking about this particular situation. And now this situation has turned into a whole thing in and of itself, and I've been able to talk about it. And so I have that jump off point that I was kind of avoiding talking about, because I didn't really want to put my business out there with regards to this. I was kind of on the fence, guys. I was really on the fence. And now everything is just out there. And so I'm going to create a series because, as I mentioned in my podcast, the last podcast episode, that I had gotten Akashic Records readings throughout that period where I was in love with somebody who was completely dishonest with me. And so I want to share some of those readings. I want to share the readings that talked about that particular portion. Because they were all about, when you go into the Akashic Records, you find out everything is about you. Like nothing is about any of the characters in your play. Your mom, your dad, your fucking kids, coworkers, none of that shit. All everyone is doing is reflecting, giving you opportunities for you to come to you, basically, for you to find whatever it is you're looking for within yourself and not within any external places. So I want to talk about some of the lessons that came up, some of the advice that I was given, and now how I look at it in retrospect. You know, maybe questions I would have asked or feel like I should have asked now that I have another perspective on the situation. And there's a lot of vulnerability that goes into this because there was so much despair with the situation. And I know listening to some of these readings where I was extremely emotional is not going to be easy. But I feel like for those who don't have the ability to get their own Akashic Records readings, maybe you'll find some resonance with my readings and maybe it'll help you get through things. So yeah, I think this is just going to be a short little podcast. I just wanted to come on here to just kind of talk about what's been going on, how I've been doing, and what's next. So yeah, definitely going to do an Akashic Records series to kind of show, like I said, how I process that whole relationship. And then I also need to finish up my past life series, which I'm really excited about because everything that we do, everyone that we engage with, the tiniest things can all be traced back to another life. And it's like this beautiful, like once you have seen enough, I don't know, it's just like I have this feeling of like the present life and then all the past lives, and there's like these strings, these moving things, and it's almost like as we move through our current life, we're also moving through our past lives. It's because they're all happening at the same time. Just really gnarly. So I want to finish that series as well. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Thank you for listening / watching.